What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, coming to you not from the Recap Studios, obviously, coming to you from Key West, where you were right, Lip Ripper. You were right. I just walked by I almost set this thing up to do it from Sloppy Joe's just for you. But since we just got here, trying to find my lay of the land, I knew I had to get this show on the air, and we're off and running here on the Recap Lunch Hour. I just saw my guy Phil chime in. Keep him coming. The comments all day. I might have to get out of this wind here just to keep you people happy. That wind is barking. So fire away with the comments. The Cubs open a big series today in Minnesota. Here's what I think about that series. I think the Cubs have a chance to turn the Minnesota Twins into sellers by taking 2 out of 3, or if not sweeping. And that's a team that you could pluck from. Guff, this is a big road trip for the Cubs. Need to go at least 4-2, 5-1. I love you guys, Eric and Becky and everybody saying, oh, they have to at least go 4-2. I've always told you guys, 500 on the road. 500 on the road's a good trip. They have the Yankees this weekend. They take 2 or 3 from Minnesota. Even if they get beat 2 out of 3 in New York and go into the break with a 3-3 road trip, I think that's fine heading into the break. You don't want a 2-4 trip, but look, you got a team in the Twins that are on the cusp of being knocked out, and you could step on their throats. Question of the day coming from Thomas. Do we Cubs fans want more if we have to choose between a Tucker extension and going all in for a title this year, assuming they don't want to do both? I don't think you should assume they don't want to do both. I don't. I think it's okay to want both, Thomas. If I were you as a Cubs fan, I'm not going to tell any fan how to think. Is the goal to win a World Series or not? And if the answer is yes, you're playing for this year. You're playing for this year and you go for it this year. And then you get the extension after the season. The real Phil Sims, good afternoon. Until they make moves, they won't be seen as a World Series contender. Handle business, Jed. Takes 2 to tango. If you listen to the Cubs Recap podcast that was released yesterday here on the channel or wherever you listen to podcasts with Cap and Gordon, and then Cap had a recap yesterday with his up-to-the-minute trade intel, you have to have 2 to tango. You have to have teams that are willing to acknowledge that they are not going where they want to go and signal that it's time to trade. If I were one of those teams, with all due respect to your fan base, it's okay to tell your fan base we have to punt on this year because it's better for us for next year and beyond. I would jump the market on that if I were a GM. I would jump the market and say, let me be the first to sell and let that dictate where the rest of the market goes. Let's say they extend Tucker, but as a deadline, they only go for cheap players. Maybe they won't extend him and instead put all their chips in for this year, getting high end. Thomas, you're overthinking it, my friend. You need to worry about this year and the extension. You have Kyle Tucker under contract through this year. He loves it here. By all accounts, we've done the research. Cap has talked to his people with the Cubs. He loves it here. Last week, him and his wife announced that their foundation will be setting up here in Chicago. Why do you do that if you only have 3+ months left here in the city? OD, even with Shota on the bump, I hope this isn't a travel letdown spot for the Cubs after a busy primetime success last week. Guys, they had an off day. It was a short flight to Minnesota. My guess is that they went yesterday. So they probably spent the night on Sunday in their own beds in Chicago, woke up, and now they wake up today, as Cap says, find a way to get a cup of coffee and find a way to win a damn baseball game. Really like this matchup tonight for the Cubs with the off day, with Shota Imanaga on the mound, with the idea that they're playing really well coming off of a 5-1 homestand. I think the Cubs are getting the Twins in a really good spot, similar to the Guardians. The Guardians a month ago in a different situation. Now the Cubs have stepped on their throat and knocked them out of contention, and that's what I'm hoping that they can do with the Minnesota Twins as the wind picks up here in Key West. Becky, if we go 5-1 and the Brewers start losing games, I'll take it. I mean, simple formula, Becky. Here's what I would say. You worry about you, meaning the Cubs, and let everybody else behind you dictate what happens next. They're the ones chasing, not you. Becky, Guff, why they trade Birdie to the White Sox and get Talkman back. I know that Talkman grew up being a Cubs fan. That's a terrible trade. Becky, why would the White Sox take John Birdie, who is a basically a invite to spring training and a non-roster invite for Michael Talkman, who has a year of arbitration next year. That's not happening. You need to be more creative than that. It's going to require an actual minor league prospect of some sort. You can't trade crap and get better. That's not how it works. Amy, any shot the Twins are dealing Will Castro or Harrison Bader at the deadline? Both are rentals, and both would really improve the Cubs bench. I think that's a really good point, Terry. I think that's why I think it's an important series for the Cubs. I think this series is actually more important for the Cubs than the Yankees series. I do, because the Twins are a team that has yet to admit they are not in a position to chase down anybody in the American League wild card. And if you could step on their throats and acknowledge that heading into the All-Star break, these names that you come up with, and I'll give you other names, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, some other names to think about. Duran's been mentioned as a possible closing candidate. That could open a vault for all teams looking for help at the trade deadline. So, yeah, I do think the Cubs can help push the envelope and push through the idea that it's time to make a move. And these are the type of teams. That's what I love about the Cubs schedule right now. They're in a spot where they're kind of dictating, they can kind of help dictate what happens in the trade market. Mike, I've narrowed my list of Cubs starting pitching trade candidates down to 4 as follows. Number 1, Joe Ryan. I just mentioned the Twins. Number 2, Chris Bubeck of the Kansas City Royals. Another team that the Cubs get out of the All-Star break that they could help push into sellers. Number 3, Merrill Kelly of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Another team that's not admitting who they are. And Seth Lugo, another Kansas City arm. So see next comment. I'm ready for the next comment, Mike, because I'll tell you what, those are 4 names of teams right now that have not said they're selling. Would need to be aggressive with prospects for Ryan and Bubeck, but they're entering more expensive arbitration for small market teams falling out of contention, and they have the swing and miss stuff. And by the way, I've said this for a long time. You can't be afraid to deal prospects. For those type of arms, you are hoping Ben Brown could be Joe Ryan. You are hoping that, and that's why you go for it this year. You go for it because you could be different. You could be different. You could be a team that wins the World Series. The Cubs' offense is insanely special. Their bullpen is actually really good, especially if they can add another arm to it. And if you can improve your bench, then you deal from within. It's part of the point of having a good farm system. Pablo, hand clap for this man's work ethic. My arms would be exhausted by now holding up this phone for so long. LOL. Thank you, Guff. Hey, I'm trying to find a little prop here. I'm on a palm tree because I wanted to give you guys, Pablo, I wanted to give you that beautiful water behind us. This place, I almost did it up and down Duval Street here in Key West, which actually could have been a blast. Who knows what we would have seen? Anything goes on YouTube, and certainly in Key West and Duval Street. Going on a cruise, Guff, July 8th, under the luxury tax. we still, I'm not going on a cruise. I'm just down in the Keys for another vacation. You guys are probably going to go, damn, I want to work with the recap. Guff's out of the office more than he's in the office. I'm still here for you. I'm still here. David, I'm jelly. Enjoy, Guff. I'm here for you, David. I appreciate you, brother. Kyle, totally awesome. The Sox are wearing a 45 patch to honor Bobby Jenks. Very nice tribute to a key piece of the 05 championship team last night. I thought it was really cool. The White Sox played Here Come the Boom, which was Bobby Jenks' walkout song when he came in to close games. Instead of playing Thunderstruck, the Sox came out to Here Come the Boom. They had a moment of silence before the game and a video tribute to Bobby Jenks. It wasn't a very packed house last night. I look forward to some type of tribute this weekend when the entire 2005 team is in for a reunion. I'm telling you, I don't think there's a better idea than the one I have of having Ozzie come out of the dugout, do the hand gesture, bullpen opens, Here Come the Boom plays, and it's a standing ovation, not a moment of silence. I think that's how to honor Bobby Jenks this weekend. And I think it's amazing that the team, of course, is wearing a 45 patch the rest of the year, as they should. Okay. Second most saves in the history of the White Sox, only to Bobby Thigpen. And just an all-time good dude, treated a lot of us in the media great during his career, after his career, of course, was with the Joliet in Joliet, the Windy City Thunderbolts managing the team, and they, hearts go out to Windy City because they lost their manager, and a lot of people, yeah, he's managing there, but there were young men continuing their baseball career with Bobby Jenks as their closer, or as their manager, and I think it's really special that the entire city of Chicago has embraced Bobby Jenks and certainly have felt the loss of good old number 45. Godfather, as of now, the starting staff is not championship caliber. Will Ricketts pay? No. And again, I've said this for a long time. I've said it for a long time, Godfather. I understand the trepidation of Tom Ricketts and not wanting to spend. I do. I think the Cubs are going to make moves. I do. And I'll say this, so far from what I'm gathering from Cap's video, like his recap yesterday, like it feels like it's going to be a blah trade market. I just think there's so much. You're talking about 23 days between now and the trade deadline. 23 days. Do you know how much stuff can change, how the proposals can change, how desperation can change? I think we're about to see that kind of stuff happen after the All-Star break. Here's another thing that people aren't realizing. Teams are gearing up for the draft next week. And you heard Chris Getz say with the White Sox yesterday, there might be a little bit of a lull this week in trade talks as teams get ready for the draft. And that's another reason that I don't love the draft at the All-Star break. Because now it doesn't seem, I know that's the tradition, but that's a story for another day. Kyle, I'll take both with a championship and Tucker extension. As Gordon puts it, you're the Chicago freaking Cubs. And I could not agree with Gordon Whitmire enough on the White Sox Recap podcast. By the way, originalhooters.com, the best wings, the OG wings, the boneless wings. You know where to go. It's originalhooters.com, one of Chicago's 11 area locations. Go to order.hooters.com if you'd like to pick up your order to go or have it delivered via DoorDash. That Repo Rita might go around the corner and find if there's a Hooters here in Key West because it's $8. It's the drink of the month. They have great lunch specials, 11 to 3 every day. The burgers, by the way, you don't think about going to Hooters for the burgers. And then this month, the $14.99 a pound snow crab legs. Are you kidding me? And then the Big Daddy mugs. You got the Kona Big Wave, the Mango Cart, the Sam Adams Summer Ale, and of course, you got to take that care of that beach bod, the Michelob Ultra. It's all at Hooters, originalhooters.com, proud partner of us at the Recap and here at the Recap Lunch Hour. Ryan, here's an important question for you, Guff. What's an underrated sandwich in your opinion? By the way, the people down here and where to go, they have not the food recommendations that we've had this week already, absolutely off the charts. An underrated. See, the problem is like I was gonna give like any place that serves a Thanksgiving sandwich, you got to get it, and that's like Thanksgiving on a bun, the turkey, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, etc. You got to get it. I'm not sure it's underrated though because it's so good, and if a place has that, it's hard not to get it. But again, I'm not sure it's underrated. I'm a big lunch sandwich guy. There are a lot of people in my family, not big on sandwiches. I'm a sandwich guy. I like something with a little bit of a kick on it. Tony's Deli on the Northwest Side, Edison Park, fantastic. Absolutely great lunch subs. I like the American, put a little jardiniere on that. Becky, can they sweep the Twins? Can they is always a yes. Will they is the question. Day by day, Becky, you play the game in front of you. That's the game the Cubs have today. Shota Imanaga on the hill. I like a strikeout prop of 5 or more. Not going to be my bet of the day, which, by the way, Pablo, I got him for you today, my friend. It's been a long time since we've had the Aviators, and here we are with the Aviators today when we get to the bet of the day. And I might just be leaning a little bit towards that Cubs-Twins game. So we'll see. Pablo, regardless of the bet of the day, you definitely need the Aviators on now. Pablo, right on cue. Pablo, you think I need him? Purposely did this show in the shade so you can see the water, and I wouldn't sweat profusely for the 30 minutes or so that we're on together. But there you go. To match I figured I had to go with the proper apparel wear here too from Key West, from the beach, because It only made sense to go with something fun. Thought I saw Ricketts laying on the beach. Let me see. Not this particular beach. Not really much of a beach here. I would say this: there's a lot laying on the beach, and not anything that looks like Tom Ricketts. I'll keep it PC for now, Godfather. But yeah, that's pretty funny. He might be over there on that little island that looks like it's. Let's put it this way: it's not the cheap. Yeah, that's not cheapskate island over there. I can tell you that. Jim, gotta say it. You almost as pale as I am, Guff. Look at this. Come on now. This is me getting sun, Jim. This is me getting my vitamin D, my friend. My last name's McGuffey, okay? Not Vitale. That's something. Not Langan. You know, I'm not born with this beautiful Italian blood. You get what you get. You don't get upset. Talking to me. Come on, Jim. Get on the bike. Go for a ride. Now that you said that, go for a big ride. I'm not that pale. Come on. Come on. Don't forget, guys, go to Clark Street Sports. Clark Street Sports has the recap collection. We have the Take That St. Louis shirt. Yes, to answer your questions, we have Take That Green Bay and some of the other teams and some of our rivals. Those are coming down the pipeline. Clark Street Sports has all the gear at clarkstreetsports.com. Eric, Guff, recap lunch hour question of the day. If the Cubs make the correct moves by the trade deadline, do you think the Cubs win the World Series this season? I think that's a hard thing to say yes to. I will say this. Can they win the World Series? Yes. I don't think they can today. As we sit here and come live to you, I don't think I can say the Cubs will win the World Series today. But 3 weeks from now, with the right, you tell me they go out and get 1 to 2 pitchers, maybe a bullpen guy and a bench guy? I think they can. They can go toe-to-toe against it. Their offense is so special, and it's probably the best in the game. I'm talking top to bottom. I mean, the guys you guys complain about, Matt Shaw, doesn't matter. People are complaining about Ian Happ. The guy's got a high on-base percentage. He's going to have 25 homers. Dansby Swanson's going to have a career high in homers. And then what you're seeing out of PCA, Bush, Tucker, Saya, jeez. Swayze, I agree, Guff. It takes 2 to tango. Seems like the Cubs are dealing with delusional owners who have false hope this season. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Right. And you just need, right now, the owners hold all the cards. Pretty soon, I think the GMs will, when they have to go to ownership and be like, guys, we can get a good deal. We're not rebuilding. We have to hit the reset button, and we'll be back next year in the same exact spot. Is Texas one of those teams? Is Atlanta one of those teams? You can say we are punting on this year and prepare to win next year. It's totally fine. You got to convince the ownership otherwise. Square Grouper, also very Lip Ripper. There you are. I almost right down the street, buddy, right around the corner. Sloppy Joe's. I saw it. So I almost did it from there. Got the fam with me. Had to drop them off. Picked up a golf cart, riding up and down Duval Street. Feel just like everybody else here, except I don't have my shirt off yet. If you need to get a job or get a pub sub for Publix chicken tender sub is a state. Probably not going to need that. We just had a monster brunch over at the Blue Heaven. Absolutely fantastic spot if you're ever down here for sure. Lip Ripper though, I took a picture of all the recs you gave me. I appreciate. I always love getting the recommendations from you guys. It's absolutely fantastic. What's going on, Josh? Appreciate you being here on the show. Katie, let's pop down that. Take the comment off here. We're gonna go to the bet of the day because it was finally nice to cash one yesterday and not have to worry about it. And let me take that guy off. Not have to worry about sweating one out. It was a non-sweat version of the bet of the day, which has actually been so long since I can say that. And it's just nice to sit here and go, okay, gosh, it's good to be up for the week. And I plan on being up going forward for quite some time. So either you're coming with me or you're coming not. For all of you asking questions about the Cubs, got the Aviators, Pablo, celebrating the bet of the day win, the big bet of the day win. White Sox lose 8-4. Hate betting against the Chicago teams. I do. Bad matchup for the White Sox last night. The Toronto Blue Jays, had won 8 in a row. They had taken down the Rays and the Yankees and got all the way to the top of the AL East. Now they've won 9 straight. They win 8-4 last night. Felt like a good spot. Sean Burke didn't pitch very well, and the Sox lose 8-4. Got the Aviators on the celebrate. Today, a lot of talk about the Cubs. I love the Cubs tonight. I love Shota. I love the spot. I love the matchup. The Twins are going this way, and they're doing it fast. They're not going as fast as the Cleveland Guardians, but I do think this is a great opportunity, as I've been saying this whole show, for the Cubs to step on the throats of the Minnesota Twins and put them out and make them sellers. And I'm doing it with plus value on the run line. -1.5 is plus 120. We got the big win. I'm going bet of the day. We can start firing up the comments. Katie again, as we finish off this version of the lunch hour. Angel Reese has another double-double against Washington right now. How is she not an all-star starter? Kyle, I appreciate it, man. I love getting the off the beaten path. And I shouldn't say that about the WNBA. Angel Reese, ever since there's been heavy criticism of Angel Reese, particularly in the beginning of the year. Obviously, the rivalry with Caitlin Clark. She's been playing very, very well. She has a record amount of rebound games. She had a triple double earlier this year. But yeah, the double doubles. She's a rebounding machine. Kyle, I don't understand a lot about the all-star stuff because Caitlin Clark was voted #1 by the fans and #9 at her position in the league. It tells you how envy and jealousy are playing out in the WNBA. Sky lose another one, but Angel's playing outstanding. Kyle is our resident Hawks reporter, Sky reporter. I know he's doing the rugby stuff. He's our guy. And Chicago Fire as well. Stay hot, Guff. Let's ride. Took the run line last night in the Sox game. We're taking the run line tonight in the Cubs game. We're laying the 1.5. Showed Imanaga on the mound against just a really struggling Minnesota Twins team. I had to look at the pitching matchup because if it was a Joe Ryan type situation, maybe that's where you kind of take a step back and go, hang on, let's take a look at the matchup. But instead, we are going to take the good side of the matchup, which I believe is the Chicago Cubs, especially after getting an off day, bullpen fully healthy, matchup that you like, and the White Sox are the Cubs in a really good position after a 5-1 stretch. Feels like a good time to put a bow on this edition of the Recap Lunch Hour. Beautiful weather here. From what I'm told, it's been beautiful back at home in Chicago. Got family back there. Got immediate family back there. Keeping an eye on the homestead. And we got, of course, all kinds of stuff coming to you all day here on the Recap. Make sure you check out the Cubs Recap podcast. A fresh edition of it dropped last night on the channel. We got the Recap Rush Hour coming later today. And the Cubs and Sox both have 6:40 games. And you know, as always, we have the recaps of those games immediately following the day. Appreciate you guys greatly. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And most importantly, I forgot to do it yesterday because I know she's watching. She was a little hurt. I had to give her a special shout out. Happy birthday to my beautiful mother-in-law, Margie Crockett. Yesterday celebrated a beautiful 75 years young. The great Margie Crockett. She's the best. My mother-in-law, she's a huge, avid fan of this show. She has all the swag. That's what happens when you know somebody. So happy birthday to my beautiful mother-in-law who's holding down the fort at home. Margie, love you dearly. There's your shout out live here on the Recap Lunch Hour. For Katie, for Cap, for everybody at the Recap, thanks for watching this edition of the show. It's always brought to you by, of course, Hooters. OriginalHooters.com. Go to one of the Chicago land 11 locations nearest you. Order.hooters.com to pick up your order to go. We'll be back again. Who knows where I'll be tomorrow? Isn't that the beautiful thing? Who knows where I'll be tomorrow? Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take that.